Let your kids watch it!
Welcome everyone to the TheUndercoverBrony Reviews. The episode reviewed today will be Hoof Done It, written by Janie Hall. So after 2 months of trying to get this wrangled together, we're finally here for the last 2 episodes of Make Your Mark Chapter 2.
Hey, let's cheers to that, brother!
It's been 84 years.
It's a long time coming, but it finally came.
Hell yeah!
Oh my god.
So then, what is the fantastic concoction that is being sponsored by the channel today?
Oh, well, since you asked, today it is Cloudy Kingdom. It's clearly not Mario ripoff can.
Not at all.
Has even the mushroom. It's got like the star right there. It's got Princess Peach and for some reason a small white dog. I didn't know she had a dog, but
wait, Cloud Puff just invaded the Mushroom Kingdom.
I guess so. This is the perfect
Very
beer,
nice.
and it's also Cloudy Kingdom. So Cloud Puff, there you go. It's from Royal Bliss Brewing Company, which is. Who knows? I don't know. It doesn't say where they're from. But yeah, so it's a Mario-themed beer because Mario Day was like a week ago? 10 days ago?
Yeah.
Something like that.
So there is one last introduction that we need to do. John, you have a friend with you. Would you like to introduce yourself?
So this is another Brony friend of mine. His name is Indigo Dream.
Hello.
He has his own channel too, I think.
I
right?
do.
Yeah.
My name is Indigo Dream. I've been a Brony for over 6 years now. Love the fandom. Have some questionable choices made because of it. And I've got a lot to say about today.
Nice.
Well, there we go. So we are here for episode 7 so far, which is Hoof Done It. Probably the weakest out of all the episodes.
It's bad.
I would
It's
say
real
it's
bad.
between this one and the Alicorn one. To which one is worse, but this one is pretty bad.
Yeah.
So it starts right off the back of the previous episode of the best episode of the 8-episode run, where Zip wakes up in the middle of the night and she realizes that, she heard a noise and she's like, what the heck? But then she's like, it must be my imagination. Goes back to sleep, wakes up, and the lantern is gone. And it starts off a chain of events that really pisses me off, but we'll get to there. We'll get there.
Let's just say there was a point less than 2 minutes into the episode where I, literally just said out loud to myself, "Oh God, please tell me this isn't the plot." It was the plot.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
I want to share with you that it's funny that you started out with that because I have a note being the very first thing that happened in the episode. And I'm going to read it to you as is. Literally, first 3 seconds of the episode. First 3 seconds, Misty eats shit and dies. She just trips over a barricade. First 3 seconds, that's how we're starting the episode? An accident? It was the funniest thing ever. It takes the episode like a minute or so to ramp up, here's what's happening. But I couldn't actually pay attention enough because I was laughing too much. There's no way to start an episode that way.
So the bean is tripping. Okay, let's just say it how it is.
It's funny. I love it.
Yep. So I have to say though, Zip getting all panicked about the fact that the lantern is gone is hilarious. Just the way the voice actress is just going with all these weird breathy noises, it's hilarious.
I mean, the whole lantern is not in its case, and it's not here with you, which means it's missing.
I did notice that. I was like, okay, this is some fun acting and directing. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. And the other thing I like is that she has this suit up montage. She has this little spy drone on the end of her. She has that visor from Tell Your Tale, all that stuff.
Once she actually goes into detective mode, I said, she says only one solution, and then she said something about crime fighting or something probably, but I wrote only one solution, put on my Geordie LaForge visor.
That's kind of what I said too, is literally only one thing to do, turn into a Power Ranger.
Go, go, Power Rangers! Go, go, Power
Yes.
She straight up looks like I haven't played this one, but in I think the third Phoenix Wright game, there's a guy on the cover that straight up looks like she does.
Oh yeah.
Like, oh, I should probably play that game. This reminded me of that. Whatever. But,
yeah.
And then later she uses it like Terminator powers. Like, she's going around scanning in the crowd, and she's like, oh, there's only so many people I can interview with this mask on. And I'm like, I halfway expect her to, like, scan somebody and be like, you're close, gives them to me. Or whatever, you know what I mean?
Like 2 minutes in, Zip becomes a menace to society.
Yes, really. So the one thing I will say that I also love is the fact that she opens up the fridge trying to find the lantern, and she's like,
Oh yeah, there was definitely some kind of fiend in this house. I mean, who does this?
Oh, the rest of my apple. So good.
And Zip's face kind of in the background, like in the corner of the frame, kind of like looking off looking off from the distance, just seeing Izzy, just like, okay, yeah, I guess, yeah, sure,
yeah.
It's another one of those moments that legitimately got a laugh out of me. I was like, yeah, that was good. There's also a funny little visual gag in the sort of like cold open as well, where or not the cold open, but right after the theme song, when Zip comes in and sort of upsets all of the pancakes that Sunny is making.
Oh, yeah.
And there's a shot where we see one of these like weird squirrel mutant animal things that exist in this world.
Yeah.
Like see the pancake coming and just go like prepare, and then it lands on it and it's just like nice, and it just carts the pancake off. Again, I was like, that was a good little gag that it saw. It was like, yes, come to me, I'm ready, and then like grabs it and walks off. That was funny.
I am here for the cakes of pan.
Yes, yeah.
I was gonna say, I haven't watched any of these episodes since they came out, like it's 4 or 5 months ago or whatever. So like,
My goodness.
I watched like the last like 10 minutes of 6 just so I could kind of catch back in. I do like how they like ended on a cliffhanger there, but like it's not quite like Matrix Revolutions level, like like the cliffhanger or something. That would be great though. But but anyway, like I did note that I didn't write it down, but I did note that this was the first time that I was like, I don't like this theme song. Skip. Like,
It's so bad.
Yeah.
It's honestly terrible. Admittedly, the G4 theme song was also terrible. Like, skip it every single time. One of the best pieces of advice I ever heard is if you're trying to convert someone into a brony, one, pick the first episode that you show them carefully, because there's some episodes that you definitely shouldn't start with, even in the first season.
Right.
And skip the intro. For God's sake, skip the intro.
Yes.
Because it is like maybe the worst part of it. And I think that is definitely the case in this. It is equally as annoying in a very 2023 way.
yeah, it's differently annoying, but
It's like differently annoying. It is updated to our current musical styles
absolutely.
now. But
it's funny because I
just
feel
as
like
bad.
me and you, John, gave it a pass when we did our original episodes, and we were
Yeah.
like, oh yeah, it's
Yeah,
alright.
but
And then
it's-
like in retrospect, I'm like, no, it's not.
Yeah.
bad.
It's yeah. Ugh. But going on to what you were just saying there, Jensen, about, pick the episode that you're showing a new brony carefully. One of the things that I have to say that I love about that particular thing is the fact that you can actually ask them, what type of humor are you looking for? What type, like, are you looking for action? Are you looking for something more funny? Like, literally, you can be like, hey, do you want dry humor? Show them Mod Pie. You'll be able to, it's the type of show where it has so many different aspects to it that you can literally hone in on exactly which episode they'll like.
Yeah, absolutely.
No, absolutely. I agree with that too, because I tried to show my brother some, and he fucking hates the idea of Pony. But like, I found a couple where he's like, I didn't hate that, and I was like, whoa, that's awesome. Yeah.
I do have to say that I love how Zip goes over to Sunny's side table.
Just as I suspected, this outline is the exact diameter of the lantern's base. And what's this? Dirt! The same kind of dirt that's used in the community garden. Interesting. Did I just taste dirt? Ugh.
Wait, did I just take dirt? Yeah.
Like, considers life choices.
Yes.
By the way, before we get too far in the episode, when she looks under the box looking for the lantern, I was like, this is just going to be some dumb gag that's not that funny. And then it ended up actually being kind of funny because it was that stupid chibi pig thing from the other episode.
Yes. Yeah.
Shows up later in the next episode. And now I'm wondering if it's just that somebody created that asset and they're like, I wasted my time on this, I'm putting it in every episode. Or if it's like some kind of gag among the staff where they're like, can we put it somewhere? So now I'm trying to decide if it's in every episode.
Go back and review thoroughly.
We need to, John.
Where's the damn pig?
We need Little Shy on this. He needs to do a CinemaSins on this.
It's just the whole episode. Just be the
Yes.
whole show.
Yeah.
It's just
Yes.
continuously just the like alarm sound just the entire time.
Yep.
Anyway, show of hands, who here cringed or eye rolled or something when Pip said,
I am shook!
Yeah, a little bit there.
Yeah.
Yeah. It was,
Yeah, she's pretty cringe.
I also
Anyway,
got to read
moving
it on
on.
screen for a minute and like bake it in because I watched with subtitles and I was like,
Did she just...
I had to rewind.
so
I was like,
bad.
did I just hear that?
hey, at least
Yeah.
you didn't say I am shooketh.
Yeah, really.
That would have been like taking it one step too far.
At first, I thought she said, I am shock. And I was like, that makes no sense. And I rewound
Yeah.
it. I'm like, she said shook. I'm like, are you kidding me?
Like,
Anyway.
Stop with this
moving-
fucking TikTok language bullshit. God damn. I'm starting to like you, Pip, but there are some places that I'm just like, shut the fuck up.
It may have legitimately been funny if she had said shooketh instead. I would have felt like there would have been a little bit of like self-awareness there, but it's just
There,
like,
there would have been more comedic value, but no, she just went with, I am shook. Shut up.
So this is the one part of the episode that pisses me right the fuck off. Okay? Pip finds the lantern, is about to bring it to Zip, and then she's like, oh, look at how much fun Zip is having. I should just steal it and then put her on my trail, I guess. Yeah, that'd be nice. No. Fuck you, Pip. Fuck you. I cannot believe you literally thought that would be... I cannot believe that you had any iota of an idea that would be a good idea.
this was the moment, the aforementioned moment that I said where I went, oh God, please don't tell me this is the plot. Side note, plot, get it because we're in a garden. But anyway, yeah.
I kind of guessed when he started venting about this that might have been what your thing was. But John, we can't have an episode without shitty plot devices.
We could in G4.
Well, this isn't G4 now, is it, John?
Ugh.
I genuinely love the idea, and by love I mean hate, the fact that the entire episode is based on Pip thinking it's a good idea to take the lantern, hide it, so that her sister can continue to have fun. The entire episode, that's the thought process that was supposed to be given to us, but what was given to me is that Pip decides to take the lantern and create a menace to society monster with Zip just harassing everyone in town trying to find this thing, just being an absolute beast. And just, you wanted to do something nice, but you created hell.
Yeah.
So, I actually had written down, like, why the fuck is this lantern even buried? The only explanation would be if Misty was trying for an alibi and returned to the house, but she didn't. Why did she bury the fucking thing? Why didn't she just go back to the castle with it? She had the fucking lantern and was like, you know, I should bury this lantern. Like,
She had it.
yeah, what's the point of that? Like, that's the real question here. It's not like why did Pip fucking like play this thing with Zip, but no, why did Misty not just take the fuck off and go back to wherever the hell, what's her name?
Opaline.
Opaline. I have Evil Queen written in my notes.
Like,
Yeah.
Opaline's-
You have the thing that you were tasked to get. It's there. You got it. Why put it down?
It's definitely really weird. Like even for a like C tier at best kids show as this is, that's still one of those things where even as a kid, like I remember watching shows like this when I was like, 8, 9, 10 years old, whatever. I watched a lot of kids TV. Even back then, I would have been like, why did she drop it? Why didn't she just... And this is like a thing that a lot of like kids show writers do, is they
Yeah.
like underestimate the intelligence of their 10-year-old audience. It's like, no, they will know that this is bad writing. They won't put it into words that way, but they will definitely pick up that this makes no sense.
All of that to say, Misty, congratulations, you played yourself. But I will say that I do like Misty goes back and she's like, where was it? It was right here. What's going on? And I love the line that she says here. She says,
Oh, why do I always panic and do the wrong thing?
so in some way, it actually does kind of make sense why she would be this stupid. But at the same time, you still played yourself.
It's dumb plot, but I did appreciate that moment because it's like, oh, I think we can all relate to that to some extent.
Yeah,
so it was like,
yeah.
the moment redeemed itself a little bit with her, acknowledging that was a really dumb move. And in a very sweet way, it was like, oh, that's okay, Misty.
Yeah.
You'll be fine.
Yeah. I don't know if I have...
And then Zip comes down, and she's all talking about, like, Misty, what the hell are you doing here? We got to figure out what's going on here. Ooh, I'm noticing clues, blah, blah, blah. And she's going around, and there's this particular face that Misty does when Zip gets kind of close to her. It is absolutely hysterical. She's just sitting there like...
Yeah, Misty definitely still holds the crown for best like character and best expressions. Like maybe just second to Izzy,
Yeah.
but like definitely a contender.
Yeah, I don't know if this is the same scene, but I have written down in quotes, why did I think that burying it was enough to keep it hidden? And I was like, oh, I don't know. Maybe, why did you not leave immediately when you had it? But, like, she's always worrying about how dumb she is, but in this case, she's kind of right. But I love her, though. I love her. I love
Yeah, she's a bean,
Yeah.
but she's not a very clever bean.
Yeah.
Then Zip decides to go into town and start harassing the population. Thanks, Pip. But I do like how she goes up to the Pipsqueaks and she's like, where were you last night at 4:30 a.m.? And they were like, we were definitely sleeping and not staying up late watching Pip tutorials about our hoof glitter. Please don't tell on us. And when one of the characters says, please don't tell on us, if you look inside her mouth, you could see a little bit of red. There's an animation error there.
This is probably going to get... We probably were leading up to this, but I'm going to take this opportunity to point out there's a couple of animation errors in this that I spotted.
Oh.
That's a good one. We'll come back to that. But yeah, no, there's a few of them that were like so egregious that I was like, what the hell? What did I just see? Yeah. I will say as we come up here, because the next thing that happens is Izzy comes up and Zip starts interrogating her. I will say, Izzy in prime form as always, right?
Yes.
Like, I'll be honest, I generally don't like this show. I think it is C tier at best. I just watched it for Izzy because she is like one of the few characters that I don't have any issues with writing wise. I think she's great.
The one other thing that I love is the fact that right after, when the Pipsqueak is literally like, please don't tell on us, it switches back over to Zip. And Zip's just kind of talking with her phone right here. And the Pipsqueak literally comes and grabs the phone so that she can't tell on him. I'm like, that's a cute thing. That's a cute little detail that I like.
It is.
So,
I agree.
I will say, until later in the episode, though, this is true. I was like, well, first off, like, you were saying, like, Misty, you know, she's so awkward. Like, she's suspicious as fuck. And, like, I'm like, why is Zip the master detective? Like, because clearly, first off, she's way too friendly in her accusations. But, like, she ends that whole, like, sequence with, like, no solid leads yet. And I'm like, no solid leads yet? Like, what are you talking about? Are you paying attention to what's happening? But, like, I'm like, all right, Zip, we're removing your detective Zip status to defective Zip status.
Zip, congratulations, you played yourself.
Yeah.
Then Izzy comes up in her little like Izzy does it.
Yes.
Little fucking Vespa.
Yeah, honking and screaming.
Yeah, a little moped thingy.
Yeah, it's like, hey Zip. Zip is trying to ask her what's going on. Have you seen anything? whatever. And she's like, well, by the way, also, how's the Izzy Does It mobile going along? And I love what Izzy says here.
I can't even belittle how much stuff ponies have just sitting around their houses, begging to be beautified, requesting to be repurposed, clamoring for a crafting.
And right when she says the clamoring for a crafting, she has that weird meme face that she does. It's absolutely hysterical. I love it.
She's just so gonzo, just in her reactions in general, and I'm here for it.
Izzy is just on point throughout this whole series.
Her back must hurt 'cause
Izzy
she's
in prime
carrying
form.
this show right now.
Zip says to her, she's like talking about how like she hasn't found any information to whatever's happening, and she's like,
So far, it's just all dirt and glitter.
Honestly, what isn't?
and I was like, what?
I thought that was oddly. You know what that made me think of? It made me think of how it's like, all matter is just, like electrons bouncing into each other. And I was like, that's oddly philosophical, Izzy. What isn't,
and
dirt
also
and sparkles?
hilarious.
Honestly, nothing really. We're all stardust.
yeah.
I mean, her character development in this particular series, not so much in the movie, but much more here, she is very much becoming a hippie kind of character. Where she has these philosophical overtones, but she's also very weird. And it's great.
I agree.
We also have a secondary meme face from Izzy, which is also great.
Yeah.
You seem a little... What's up?
But we move on now to Hitch, and finally, we get a scene where Hitch is hating on the fucking abomination. Hail, Hitch!
And cute moment over.
That's literally
That
my next
dragon.
note. Is like, I even wrote it in specific. 10 minutes into the episode, I hate that dumbass dragon, giggling little bastard.
It's the worst.
I hate
It's
him.
just
He
the
is the
worst. It's like one of the worst aspects of the entire show. I mentioned this
Jensen,
in
I
a
think
previous
you-
review. It's
I think you just made a friend because I hate that guy.
yeah, no, it's
He's the worst.
He's the worst. He's like the entire. What was the name of the episode where they had like the personality switch? Entire thing is just due to him being a fucking gremlin. And then even just from a design aesthetic standpoint, it doesn't make any sense because he's like not a pony, doesn't have the ability to speak or comprehend pony, but has like pony/human-like eyes that are like unsettlingly expressive to a point that it's like they can't figure out whether this is supposed to be like Spike, right, where it's like not their species but is able to communicate with them, or like an animal. It's got like human like expressive eyes like a pony, but the behavior of like an animal, and also just a gremlin. And I'm like, everything about this unsettles me.
He's an
I just wanna
abomination.
kill it with
Like,
fire.
nothing about
It's an
it
abomination.
exists.
Absolutely.
He is an abomination. I've been saying this for years, John.
Absolutely.
That's true because it's taken us 2 years to record these episodes.
Irredeemable character. Absolutely irredeemable. The worst.
Nothing.
I just love Sunny's energy levels and cadence in this scene. When she's asking Hitch for help, she's just great in the scene. She's how animated, and I feel like it's like probably the most animated and like energetic we've seen her so far.
Gather up every single pony we can find to amplify their unity magic and blast it to the lantern? Called a town meeting.
Then we see Sparky in the background while they're having this conversation where he's spinning around on the lamp. He's swinging. And I literally put in my notes in all caps, please fall and fucking die already. Fuck this abomination.
Finally came to the right team, John. Team Abomination Dragon.
Yes, we're Team Anti-Sparky, okay?
I still have him as Stitch in my notes, so.
And
Mom,
no,
can we
that's
go
a
and get
disservice
Stitch?
to
No.
Stitch. Like,
it's
Stitch
like-
is already a better character.
That's
I was
true.
gonna say it's like, Mom, can we go get Stitch? No, honey, we have Stitch at home. Stitch at home.
So then you have Zip and Izzy in a black room with one little light shining above, very similar to how we saw it in Party of One with Spike and Pinkie Pie. And this one I actually believe is a little bit funnier once the lights are turned on, but that's a little bit later. You have Zip asking, what were you doing with the lamp? Because earlier, Izzy had mentioned, "Oh yeah, I had the lamp for a while." And it's like, "You did? Well, where is it now?" Well, I brought it out I brought it out so that I could go into the garden because I had to grab some lettuce because I was needing to make an herbal tea. And I love how she explains this tea that she makes.
It is sure to lull even the most wide-eyed pony to the gentlest shores of the snoozy ocean.
If that is not me taking my melatonin every night, I don't know what is.
If that's not like a beautiful tagline on like a box of tea in real life somewhere, we need to make that shit happen.
If that's not like your tea's tagline,
Yeah.
I don't want it.
Here's what you need to do, Jensen. I know you said coming up you're going to be going to Cabbage Con. Here's what you need to do: get some of Uncle Iroh's tea and put that onto the
100%.
bag.
Yeah, no, absolutely. Yeah, no, completely. But just to come back to your Izzy appreciation, I have to agree. I full disclosure, I do not really like most of the characters. I do not like this show, and I don't really like the characters that much. It is like tolerable enough that I'll watch it, and if nothing else than out of curiosity, this is me getting on my soapbox a little bit. I watch this show the same way that every now and again I will listen to music on bad headphones. Not because there's like appreciation to be gained from those bad headphones, but because it allows me to appreciate how good actually good headphones sound. That's kind of what watching this show is like for me. Is it like draws such a dichotomy to other shows that I really enjoy. My Little Pony Generation 4, Steven Universe, Avatar The Last Airbender. That being said, if I had to watch this show for some reason, it would be for Izzy. Because Izzy is fantastically written, fantastically animated, fantastically voice acted. She is the one character in this show that I think is legitimately a unironically good character. All of the above. And this episode, and especially this scene, is her in prime form, and you just love to see it.
I agree.
Also, what I will say is I understand where you're coming from because I know when the original Make Your Mark special came out, and by God, it was fucking terrible.
I couldn't make it through it. I watched 20 minutes and it was like, there's plenty of time on this earth. I'm not wasting it here.
Yes. I only did it because I had to do a review, and
Right.
it is 45 minutes of my life
Yeah.
I will never get back.
It's
Yeah.
One of the other things going on with Izzy, is I know that with the first Make Your Mark special, it was rough to see the transition of voice actresses because we had Kimiko Glenn as the original voice actress, and then we have this new one, which I have to say, throughout this 8 episodes in Winter Wish Day, this voice actress is getting so much better
absolutely.
with voicing
Yeah.
Izzy. She has been phenomenal with this.
Yep.
She's really bringing the cadence that you want to see out of Izzy, and it's great.
Yep, absolutely. Definitely agree. Like it's actually weird going back and seeing the movie now and like just to compare the voice because I've gotten so used to hearing the new her new voice and it sounds so good and so natural now that when I go back it's like yeah, obviously the movie also sounds natural, but I'm like, "Oh wait, that's right. It was really different." And that I think speaks to how well the voice has come along in the new series, how good it's gotten and yeah, how natural it sounds.
I also have to say that I love how Izzy being naive to her own horn, being able to light up to become a flashlight for the garden is actually really funny.
It's a good moment.
And what better to light the way than a bright lantern?
Your glowing horn?
Oh. Yeah, that would have worked, too.
And then I also like how when the lights turn on, it's like, okay, Izzy, you're free to go. The lights turn on. And it's the fucking bathroom of the Bright House. Yeah. And I like how Zip sits in the chair and she's like,
I feel like I'm getting closer. Like I'm on the edge of something. I fell right into that one.
It definitely made me roll my eyes a little bit, but the double-barreled pun of I'm on the edge of something literally falls into tub. I fell into that. I'm like, okay. The first
Yeah.
one was annoying. The second one, I'm like, okay, you got me with that second one. That got a little bit of a chuckle out of me, even though I was also rolling my eyes.
It's kind of like that bit from episode 2 Attack of the Clones, where you have C-3PO going, and it's like,
Now, where are you taking me? This is such a drag. I'm quite beside myself.
Yeah, it's definitely like, okay, that's terrible, but also so bad that it gets me to laugh.
I really like during the interrogation scene how Izzy's cadence changes like this. It's like she's like,
You said you saw it last night, but what exactly did you see?
What do you mean, what did I see? I saw the lantern. You're so silly.
like it just goes like
Yeah,
from like
yeah.
breezy to psychotic like this. And I love
Yes.
it. I love it.
well, I mean, that's perfect for a hippie character. You're
Yep.
gonna have it where you're gonna start out at all nice, and where is my money?
Yeah, I know. I totally know when hippies just turn psychotic on me. It happens all the time.
Yeah.
They're the worst, right?
But we're not going to talk about that X today.
No, not at all. So then there's an entire scene where Zip comes across Misty, and Misty starts running. And there's one part of this that I actually like, and it's where Misty literally runs towards the tram and like does this epic slow-mo barrel roll into the tram and then runs into main melody. Misty's trying to go incognito, and Rocky comes up to her and he's like, hey, looking to get your main styled? And she's like, yeah, what do you have? And he starts listing off everything. And then she sees that Zip is leaving. So she's like, actually, I'll take a rain check. We don't do those here, but we do have gift cards.
I wrote down about that too. I was like, he's so dumb. I'm like, it's obviously a saying or Misty wouldn't have said it. like,
So the last note that I have on this scene is right toward the end, when at one point we see the door to the sheriff's office is open, and we see outside. I think we see. I think we see Zip talking to another passerby at that point, and there's this animation error that I noticed. It only goes, it's like a quarter of a second, and so I was like, oh, that was weird. Let me rewind and look at that, and it was actually even more egregious than I thought it was, which is where not only is the background that we see outside of the door, which is what we're supposed to briefly focus on, almost low polygon, where the textures and the shading on it is just not loaded. But on top of that, both of the characters that we see outside are levitating above the ground by several feet, which you can see because their shadow is noticeably misaligned, egregious. It's not even slight. It is several inches on your screen apart, and I'm just like, what the fuck? What the hell? It is the worst animation error I have seen in the show so far. There's some mild ones here or there, but this one is so egregious, especially because it's what you're supposed to focus on for a split second. It is only part of the screen, but it is, as soon as you see it, it is so incredibly noticeable. I noticed it even in a quarter of a second, went back, and it was worse. You have to see it for yourself to believe it. I was like, what the hell?
Did they render this for a CRT TV?
It-
Because
I
I
mean,
remember when Mario 64 would do that, you'd have the low poly Mario when he's further away, but that was because he was on a CRT. No one's going to see that.
Right, of course.
The more and more HD you get, you're noticing how low poly the thing is.
Yeah, I mean, it full on just looks like a video game cutscene error where the characters load in 6 feet above the ground. It looks like that. It's so wacky.
She gets cornered because Zip manages to get back in there and starts backing Misty up to a corner, making actually the correct accusations.
yeah.
But not in the right way, because the way that it comes through, Misty's all scared. She's really fucking nervous. And then Pip finally comes out and says, it was me. I took the lantern. And I'm like, you motherfucker, what the fuck?
Damn you, writers!
Yeah, so she's like, I saw you were glowing, I was so happy, and I wanted you to continue enjoying it, but I stole the lantern. It's like, what the fuck?
It's another very frustrating moment. It's exactly when I was saying earlier where I'm like, oh god, please don't tell me this is the plot. And then part of my mind is like, well, maybe they will find a way to resolve this in a way that isn't as annoying as I anticipate it will be. They did not. It was as annoying. It was the worst case scenario. I'm like, yep, it's
Disappointing through and through.
Then they're kind of walking away, Zip actually goes to apologize to Misty, and it's like, hey, I shouldn't be accusing you of this stuff. You know, it's wrong that I did that. And I really love how Misty is actually being genuine right here, because she's explaining that she's nervous around others. Now, that doesn't make it what she was doing right, but it at least explains most of what the characters know. So Zip kind of being very confrontational is not helping at all. It's actually driving a wedge between her and Misty that, while it's true what's going on, you don't have to make those wild assumptions, because 99% of the time they're not going to be those exact same correct assumptions.
It is interesting in this scene, because as annoying as it is that this was the plot of the episode, it's interesting how it sets up this scene that, mind you, as annoying as it is very, I think, very well voice acted and very well scripted in a way that, like, makes sense. But Zip starts making the correct accusations, but kind of for the wrong reasons, right? Just kind of out of being suspicious, which has this interesting back and forth of, she didn't have enough evidence to pin that stuff on Misty. It was really just her kind of like suspecting. But then you have Misty in this difficult position of being like, well, I did do those things, but I shouldn't admit those because I'm trying to pull one over on you. And then Misty coming back with, this really genuine moment of vulnerability that, again, I feel like a lot of us can relate to, where it's like, I just get nervous when, pressure is being put on me and I don't know how to word things. And I was like, wow, again, these are these tiny little moments of like real emotion that make this show just that redeemable for me, and this was one of those moments.
Yeah. There's actually... I actually like how you worded that. Like, that scene with Misty, it kind of hit home to me a little bit, because like, throughout the entirety of this show, there's so many things that we can obviously say, like, this is shit. But then there really are moments like, Missy's really actually trying her very best to open her heart out and explain what we already know.
Yeah.
And it's like, interesting. I wasn't expecting this from this kind of show and this kind of writing that so far we've been kind of let down on. I was like, I wonder what else they'll hit us with as a side track. And even though like some of the characters are kind of, we all have been saying it so far, annoying as shit. There was a decent moment, however, when Pip decides to, come out to Zip, and basically, like, the entirety of the plot is like, Pip took the lantern. Zip's an idiot, apparently, because she didn't put two and two together with the evidence of the wing glitter. Literally, the only pony in anywhere that uses wing glitter, as far as we know, is Pip. I think, however, though, that when Pip decides to come out to Zip, like, it's me, I'm sorry, you were having fun, I didn't want to take that away from you. I thought that was also kind of nice. Because, like, this is a sister being a sister, essentially. And, like, I have sisters myself. We've done similar things. I didn't want to take my sister's fun away, so I decided to let her do it. Did I let her become a menace to society and harass people? Not really, but, there was still some goodness in there somewhere, aside from the Power Ranger police brutality, then maybe.
I will say that during that scene, Pip says to Zip,
You finally got to be a true detective! Ah! That's worth something, right?
and I was like, whoa, Zip's spinoff is going to be real dark.
Yeah.
I don't know if you know the show True Detective or
I'm
whatever.
here for it, though, if that was the case.
After the show is over, each one's going to go their separate ways, and Zip is going to have, like,
Zip's going to have like
HBO special, the Zip files. This is going to be awesome.
The other thing I had was like, how is Misty not already outside the building? She runs off from that conversation. She like runs, and then she turns around after they have like, I don't know, like 45 seconds of conversation, and then turns around and she's just like slowly walking out. And I'm like, what? She was like, run slow. Like, what?
But one thing I will say is there's another great line here, and it's where Pip comes up to Zip, and it's like,
I bet she's still just shy around us. Some ponies are,
And I'm like, good on you for, even though you're an influencer Yas queen, you at least understand that there are introverts in the world. Thank you, Pip.
I think that was a good
absolutely.
nod to like actual real life society. You know, like not a lot of people like approaching other people. I think that was a good way to sort of like put that in there, because I think, you know, in this generation with kids growing up, some kids are probably going to grow up that way. Some kids are probably going to grow up introverted. So that sort of inclusion is, I think, healthy in a way.
And here we have, in my personal opinion, the best song of this season. I guess you could say this batch of 8 episodes.
Yep, yeah, I think it's a season, yeah.
And it sucks that this was in this fucking shitty episode.
Yep.
But it is the best song of this season. Please, for the love of God, listen to the full song. It is so good.
Oh no! I have these notes. It's like, where did it go? Music video, really ham-fisted in there for a 32-second song. I was like, it was funny because I watched it and I was like, it doesn't really fit in the episode at all. And they're just like, bam, we're going to put that right in the middle. And then I was like, that felt like 32 seconds. And I went back and checked the time. It was exactly 32 seconds. And I was like, another 32-second song in this fucking show.
Like, here's 25 minutes of your time filled with bullshit. You're just hating out the episode, you're watching it, you're hating it, bam! Banger of a song.
No, it's a banger,
and then
but
you
it's
never get to hear
32
from
seconds
it.
and does not fit at all. Like,
It's funny how we have between you guys the full range of the human experience watching this episode,
it's like-
because
like
on one
we're-
hand it's like
You're gonna give
biggest
us 25 minutes of bullshit and then give us 32 seconds of probably the most awesome song I've heard in a while.
But-
Yeah.
Screw you.
by the way, right before that, whoever is talking to Pip, I guess Zip, says like,
Yeah, we can't all be doing clip trot dances like you.
and I was like, not for fucking long as well as the U.S. government allows. But like,
for more than 32 seconds.
For the love of God, please
Zing!
listen to the full song. It is so good. It actually flexes this voice actress's pipes. She sounds so good on
there's
it.
a full version.
It's a banger song. It just sucks that it's in this fucking
How
terrible
long?
episode.
How long is the full song?
Yeah, no, it's honestly kind of funny because it is so shoehorned in. Like,
Yeah.
biggest eye roll of the episode, just being like, are you kidding me? And then I'm listening to the song, I'm like, wow, this is good.
But how-
And I just can't reconcile the cognitive dissonance between why, and why is this so good?
How long is the full version, John?
It's like 2 minutes.
Yeah, it makes sense.
So it's actually pretty good.
That's totally on the course for this show though, because it's like all the songs they put, like, that's the thing, is like in G4 I feel like all the songs last like 2 minutes, 2.5 minutes, and like in this one it's like 30 or 45 seconds.
Like, you don't get to enjoy
Why are you even producing these songs if you're only gonna put 30 seconds in?
You'll make
Yeah.
2
That
minute
sounds
songs.
that sounds expensive.
2 minute songs only
Put them
play
in.
30 seconds.
You made the song. Let's hear the song. It's Netflix. You don't have fucking TV regulations that you have to meet. You don't have to be like, oh, we gotta meet 24 minutes. It's Netflix. You could make these episodes like 80 minutes if you wanted to. Please don't. But seriously, like, yeah, there's no time constraints. Well, that's what
I can barely handle 32 seconds.
That's probably really expensive, right?
Right.
And I think the funny thing is, I think that's why the songs are included, because they probably budget at the beginning of the show's production, right? All right, we're going to have this many songs produced, and we've already paid the singer and the writers and the producers
But
to
we're only
mix and
gonna use
master all this
30
music and
seconds.
everything. Yeah, and it's like we already have them. Like, these songs are probably finished long before the rest of the production is done. It's like, all right, well, we paid all that money to get this in here, and the executives are going to want to make sure that we spent their money correctly, so we have to find a place to put this song in.
But only half of it, or a quarter of it. Yeah.
Yeah, but
whatever.
only 32 seconds
Yeah,
of it.
yeah.
They give you a little teaser to know, like, hey, we made this. We're never gonna show it to you though.
So, I have a question. It's a dumb question.
Sure.
It's gonna out me as like the least brony of the four. I started to say 5 of us, four of us. I've been drinking.
Listen, I never went to school, okay? Don't get on me. Don't at me.
This is like 8% beer. But anyway, so the question is, Is the evil queen's palace Canterlot or is it not?
It looks like Canterlot.
It does.
It
right?
does look like Canterlot.
So I thought this myself. I'm
Okay.
like,
So
that
I
would
don't
actually
feel
be really
stupid
cool
now.
if this
Thank
was like what was
God.
left.
And that's actually a
Yeah.
fantastic question that you asked that, because I do have a note about that, and it's later in the episode, but I kind of want to get to it.
Yeah, go ahead.
Because when she shows up on the scene and Misty returns to the castle, she approaches Opaline. I hate this bitch's throne room. Her entire room fucking sucks. It's just a chair and a hole. That's all it is.
She's poor. Why are you making fun of her?
She's a queen. She's got a chair, a hole, and a door. That's it.
Why are you
It pisses me
poor
off.
shaming her?
Because, like, you're really gonna be this bad of a bitch. Like, you're gonna really make me think, like, you're this much of a threat, and all you got is a fucking chair and a hole on the floor? Like, fuck you, I ain't afraid
She has
of
to
you.
go to the bathroom. She
I
can't
don't-
leave that room.
I don't
She has
give
to have
a
a
fuck.
hole in the floor.
You got a chair,
You ain't no evil queen.
one door going that fucking way, one door going this way, one door going that way, and a giant ass hole on the floor, and this
She
goes
can't
wrong,
leave
afraid
the
of you.
room. That's where the bubble that Twilight Sparkle created exists.
So all I'm gonna say for that is, Opaline, you are not an evil queen. You a broke ass bitch, okay?
You're a broke ass bitch. Like, you're really gonna make me feel like I'm supposed to be afraid of you. Like,
Yeah.
they're posing her up to be like this supreme villain, which I have so much shit to say about Opaline. Like, out of the entirety of the show, there's like some things I can say about this, some things I can say about this. I have the most things to say about Opaline, though, and why I hate her ass.
She has the least screen time. You have the most things to say
She
about her.
sucks, even though she's got like, what, 5 seconds of screen time each episode, or whichever episode she's in.
Yeah.
And those 5 seconds, I hate her.
This was very.
Yep.
I have a note that's very sad. Where like she walks in there and she's like, "Please give me a cutie mark or whatever," and she like smacks it off her. It's like it's chalked onto her.
Yeah,
Like,
yeah.
it's just,
That
like,
was,
dust
I
that
saw
she
that. I
just,
was
like-
like, holy
And
shit.
it's like, like what the hell?
Oh my god.
It's so sad.
It's very sad.
It's very
Yeah.
sad.
It is. It's a rough scene.
Yeah, it is.
There is one thing that I kind of want to talk about. Back when they were coming out of the hair salon, they regrouped with Sunny. Sunny was kind of just going about asking people, running around, losing her mind with the megaphone, trying to get people to help her find this lantern. She's absolutely panicking. Hitch is like trailing after her, trying to find her, just like trying to get her, like, you need to calm down. You're losing your mind. You're making this look bad. We're supposed to be the heroes of this town, and you're embarrassing us.
Come join us in the plaza for a very important cause.
Sonny, please stop! This is not the way to solve this!
There is actually something that I noticed. It took me seven episodes to realize this. Sunny actually has, she has a saddlebag, and she has buttons on her saddlebag.
Oh, you haven't seen this?
It took me 7 episodes to realize that it was the cutie marks of the original cast that are on her bag.
That's been there since the movie.
Yeah,
And it's like,
yeah. I think we covered it
I
in
really
that
watched
episode.
the movie twice, watched episodes twice, got to this, and I only just now realized that this bitch has buttons on her back. She's a nerd.
Yeah, she is a nerd.
It's like, alright, listen. And the entire bag design is Twilight Sparkle's design. Like, that's cool.
Oh, yeah.
That's
Oh, yeah.
I like that.
Yep. So the last couple of notes that I have here is when Hitch is chasing Sunny, you have Izzy literally going,
I don't know, but it seems like we're about to play a really complicated game of tag.
absolutely love that. And then right after everything's done, right before that scene ends, I love how Wendy just goes,
Oh, what happened to the game of tag?
I didn't know that lady had a name. Who is
Now,
she?
they all do. I don't even know where John finds them.
They
I
all
found that on Tell Your
half of
Tale.
them.
Yeah, it's like,
she's
do you
one of
know
the
this
episodes
fandom? They all fucking
Gotcha.
have names. Like,
Yeah, you know, Wendy and Shady and Sticky.
and fucking
Excuse
like
me, ma'am. You are a background
Sticky,
character.
Icky,
You do
and
not have
Blicky.
rights.
Yeah. Background pony number 43,
Inky,
Yep.
Blinky.
Inky, Blink.
Pinky and Sue.
Yes, thank you. I was like, what's the other two?
Yep.
There you go. Pinky, yeah, and Sue. Yeah. My final notes were for like what what do you call that? The stinger? No, it's not really a stinger. It was just like the bit where like if it were like a sitcom, they would all go like blah 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 ha 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 freeze
Oh,
or whatever.
yeah. The forced everyone like group laugh thing. Oh my god, it's the worst.
Sitting out there making a puzzle, and Sparky turns the last. I actually have his name in here. Damn it! All right, I tried to call him Stitch and Gremlin and shit. Gizmo, yeah, Gizmo. Fucking no, okay. Gizmo has a piece of the last piece of puzzle, and he fucking turns it into like some butterfly or some shit, and it flies away. And I'm like, well, thanks, you dumb shit. Now that puzzle piece is fucking gone forever. Thanks a lot. And then somebody's like,
Sparky's Dragonfire transformations are amazing, and he's just a baby.
You mean horrifying and annoying. But whatever.
Did he just transform matter? What's going on? What is reality? Is this just a simulation?
There's no control over it. That's the worst part.
No, the worst part.
There's no control.
The true worst part about it is that puzzle was limited edition. Fuck Sparky.
Yeah.
That little bastard ruined a limited. Hitch could have sold
it was
that.
in mint condition.
Made hella bits.
Yeah,
yep.
I hate that
guy.
dude.
He's such a.
Now it's just gonna be an NFT.
Damn it!
Izzy makes another piece.
Yeah, it's like I have that written down. I was like, then Izzy cuts out a new piece, and that little dick bag won't turn it back into the original piece. Like, what the fuck, Sparky? You're out of here.
My note, however, is I've been doing a lot of bullshit notes. This one actually is very serious. Because I've been talking a lot of shit about Opaline, and I'm going to continue talking shit about a lot of shit about Opaline. However, there is one thing that has actually been digging in my brain since I've seen the episodes, and it's the fact that Misty is working for Opaline under the premise that Opaline's gonna give her a cutie mark and all that stuff. Yeah. But the thing is, like, throughout the entirety of Gen 4, we were under the impression that that's not possible. Even with magic powers, with Alicorn magic from Twilight Sparkle, that's not possible at all. Keep in mind, though, how much of an actual bad bitch is Opaline if it took Twilight Sparkle to say, fuck magic, you don't get to have it, that Opaline's like, what if Opaline actually is that powerful that she really can make?
I think she's just fucking like gaslighting her.
But the thing is, it took Twilight Sparkle to destroy magic, to be like, she's too much, we need to stop. But the whole purpose, like, Alicorn magic is like the most powerful magic. Opaline wants all of that shit. So we're talking Twilight, Cadence, Luna, Celestia, who else fucking that we know of. Opaline herself probably has her own magic, and it's probably haywire as shit. What if she has all of it? What if she actually does have that capability?
So the reason I've been laughing for the last couple minutes is because when you were like talking like Twilight couldn't even do that, and I kept thinking like, who is that pretty lady? You guys have Friendship is Witchcraft, you know?
Oh.
It's like trying to give Apple Bloom the cutie mark. Who's that pretty lady?
The only thing I can remember from that episode is where Pinky sings the witching brew and then she dives into the portal and it's just a weird amalgamation. But that was Hoof Done It, and my god, it's a terrible episode.
I don't think it's the worst episode, though. I felt like that said, I haven't watched the rest of the episode since October, but I remember the first episode being pretty bad.
It's definitely not the absolute worst.
Yeah, this is no Make Your Mark. This is no, like, the first special. Far from it.
It's got its moment. Yeah. Like Jensen was saying, like, it's got redeemable moments. Mostly Izzy, but it's got moments.
Yes.
Yeah. Yeah.
Like I'm saying, Izzy's back, killing her. She is carrying this shit.
It's kind of like Mando. He's carrying the weight of the entire Star Wars franchise, and Izzy is literally carrying the back of G5. As far as rating this, like I said, I'll need to go back and I'll probably amend my score from the original Make Your Mark if this is lower. But I gotta give this like a 5. It sucked. It's not as bad as the first special. Nothing will be as bad as that. However, it still sucks. So 5 out of 10 for me.
Okay, I'll go first then.
Okay.
I honestly don't dislike this episode as much as John does. I think it's at least a 7 or 6.5. I also will caveat that saying like it's been 6 months since I've seen. I don't know, whatever months since the last ones. So I don't have them to compare side by side. I think this is fine. Like, I don't hate it. I don't love it. But, like, it's watchable enough that, like, I would rewatch it again. And typically things that I'm like, I'll rewatch this have to be a 6 or higher. Because if I don't want to rewatch it, I'm going to give you a shitty score.
That's true.
But I think like 6.5 or 7.
I would actually somewhat agree with Lusk here. Is that
don't say my last name? No, wait. Oh wait, that's my fucking channel name. That's fine.
Get doxed.
That's my fucking channel name. I don't care. Go ahead.
I would actually agree that I would probably give this episode probably a 7.5. It really wasn't my least favorite episode.
Same.
There was some redeemable moments, some very enjoyable moments, several moments that I could really care less about. If you cut out the 30 seconds of screen time that Sparky has and Hitch has probably, then I would probably bump it up to an 8. But that exists. However, for sole reasons alone, Izzy's screen time moments, her calling whatever the thing she said about her tea, Missy's absolute heart-wrenching attempt of like opening up, and just a very sisterly moment with Zip and Pip that some people will find annoying, but I find it kind of endearing. I don't hate it. I actually kind of like that for that sole purpose. So I'm gonna give it a 7.5.
I'm also gonna clarify that mine is solidly a 6.5 because then I thought about how dumb it was for Misty to bury the thing in the dirt. so I'm detracted.
Like, I actually just remembered. Let me take this back.
Yeah. So.
Yep.
So I always preface when I give these ratings at the end of the reviews that my rating system is a little bit skewed in the lower numbers because for me, what constitutes average, like very middle of the road, not terrible, not bad, is 5. So with that said, this episode is like a 2 for me. I think that the setup of the plot is very bad. Like we went over the whole thing with Misty, the whole thing with Pip. You know, the whole plot being based on basically characters making dumb decisions is very, very hard to get over. Like the entire conflict of the episode is based on that. The 2 points that are redeeming are Izzy is in prime form, as we discussed. Like there's some legitimately great Izzy moments that if I was recommending the show to someone, which I wouldn't do, but if I was, I would be like, oh, watch that episode or don't skip that episode because there's some really iconic Izzy moments in it. And then 2, funny enough, I think that really bad plot setup interestingly enough sets up a really good resolution in the scene in the hair salon where we have, as kind of you were just saying, we have this like sisterly love moment. We have Misty showing genuine vulnerability. We show Zip legitimately apologizing for something that makes sense for her to apologize for. And I think that scene, especially the way that it addresses Misty saying, you know, sometimes I just don't know how to word these things, that is a degree of vulnerability that is relatable on a real level that we rarely saw even in G4. Like we saw stuff that kind of got close, but it still kind of kept it on this like lighthearted, like kid level. That was such a deep cut that I was like, you know, wow. Again, we rarely saw that even in G4, which of course we all agree is a very good show. So the 2 points that I think this gets are Izzy and that scene, especially the Misty thing. I think other than that, it's just wrapped up in too much forced plot and too many cringe laughs. I agree it's not the worst episode even in this season, but it's close. But like I said, couple little moments there that I think are worth not skipping this episode for. Yep.
One thing I will say is this was one of my favorite parts of being able to do these reviews is having these very different ideas of what constitutes a good episode and a bad episode, and being able to come together and have this interesting dichotomy between the 4 of us. I really like that. But without further ado, that was Hoof Done It. And we will see you guys for the next episode in just a little bit. So that's it from me, John.
That's it for me, John.
That's it for me, Indigo.
And that's it from me, Jensen, a.k.a. Status.
We'll talk to you guys later. Peace out, Dragon.